this is the other part I recorded immediately after the first one about men, what I think about women. Oh yeah, just to follow the same format that I followed before the previous one. What I think about men, this is about what I think about women. What can I say? This is gonna get more personal. Some stuff is gonna be embarrassing because sometimes I feel like I didn't belong to that group of people, that group of humans. Oh, this is cruel. They're so cute. Called women. When I was a kid, I didn't like playing with babies, dolls and such. A lot of things happened. In the 50s, it was a normal toy, and maybe some people in your family said, oh, you can become a housewife in the future. Playing with that. I wanted to play with instruments, I guess, musical instruments. I saw people because there was a lot of music in my household, at least on the TV, watching, metal songs, my brother and I. So I associated that with, masculine. Music needs to be something like kind of masculine, I don't know. Well, at least that genre, rock and metal and such, glam. Everything was very stupid and dramatic. But then, it's just like I have an infatuation with that. When I saw a guy holding a guitar, that kind of stuff, I liked it. So I didn't want to play with dolls. And when my family forced me to play with dolls, it was like they have a face like this. That's my ass. I don't look okay. I have dark rings. You don't want a doll? What am I gonna say? No, it's like the war was just backwards. And I felt like I needed to hide my feelings all the time. Because every time I did something I liked, I was contradicting what the plan that my family had already written for me. So I remember that they were just losing it. Why don't you want to play with baby dolls? Because why would I have to hold or even play with something so weird like a tiny human made of plastic? What? So I prefer that kind of stuff, watching animations and rock music, rock concert, metal. We had Japanese animation, and we had also cartoons, American cartoons. I like that. But I try to reduce that kind of stuff. Most of my classmates, I hang out with boys mainly, I guess. We're watching cartoons and anime and such. It was very, fuck. It's like a spider here. Very famous at that time. Very common. So I grew up, and I don't know what happened in my head. It was something like my hormones, and I didn't feel attracted to women. That's strange. A lot of now you have books being sold telling you about, how men had like a what was the term? Homosociality. For example, in the Middle Ages, when you read about the history of marriage, a couple of guys praying to God inside a convent or something like that. Sometimes, I don't know, they consider having, romantic friendships. So, what they call right now in this era, bromance and such. But it goes deeper because they share their house and such, same roof and such. So I think that most people is homosocial when they are kids. Women like spending time with women, and men like spending time with men. Yeah, I didn't like women. I like men because they were more fun and more stupid and so silly. They were suddenly just run down a corridor in my school, and they would just have like an accident. And women were all the time just like this, just so passive on a chair. I didn't like that. I like emotion, feeling as if you were going to discover the world from a different point of view every time you had to make a pause between each class. So I liked men because of that. They become kind of weird, and women don't know how to react to men being attracted to them because their family don't told them that. No parent tells women what's gonna happen. They just told you don't spend time with people that you don't know. That's it. They don't tell you that 90% of the men in your classroom are gonna fall in love with you and tell you that kind of stuff. Oh, fix the hair. Oh, put on some lipstick. Oh, and it feels abusive, I know, but it just like compliments, but in reverse. That's how their mind works. If you saw the previous one about the mirror thing, that they are born just to reproduce with women, basically, but they don't want to accept it. You're gonna understand the mirror dynamic, so they say that to say I am interested in you. I realized that after many years of hearing the same, and I was like, just annoying, stop it now, I'm not gonna do that. And they just laughed. They put the smirk that I tell you about in the previous video. You get angry, I smile. You cry, I smile. And this is weird when you see the same face, the same reaction when you're being told sad things and things that make you go angry and wanna just drop out of the high school or anything. Yeah. So, yeah, women were very like soft, and I didn't like that everything was pink. Their parents bought pink stuff for them. I like football. I don't know. Also because I play football. Looks so nice from this angle, my hair. And they were very softy, They had pencils and they smelled like peach. I didn't have that kind of pencils. Their bag was full of, I don't know, butterflies and such. So when I watched that the half of my classroom was like that, I was like, what is this? And I was sent outside with mixed clothes, I was the tiny one in my household, So I had like a bag that was an explorer bag. The kind of bags that you use if you're going on vacation to Europe for, I don't know, 3 months or something like that. So I think everything was mixed. I didn't make the distinction between what was actually good for men or for women. What was, socially you should use that and such. But everything was normal. It's just not that I wanted to kiss women or something. My classmates at least. Some were cute, but they were kind of boring because of that. They didn't like to run and such. So that's how my life started. And also having issues with my balance. I was wild. I think my teacher smiled when they saw me. It's like, she's so cute and tiny, but she's so, I don't know, so noisy and running from one side to the other and then suddenly passing out. There was a time when I lost a teeth because I was playing football and such. So I was kind of like that kind of the loitering type, I guess. So yes, I didn't feel disgusted of women, but I felt like they were not my thing. I don't know. When I was young, yeah. So when I was in high school, when the hormones start working, I don't know. Okay, when I was a kid, I thought they were kind of vanity, painting their, nails and such. They didn't talk about men sometimes, but it was like jokes. Do you find that guy handsome, John? No, I don't find him handsome. I think he's stupid. I think he mistreats women, they were saying, and they were just 8 or something. So my mistake was copying that when I went to my household. And then suddenly, I don't know, or my father was rude, I guess, because he's a man, and I was just a tiny flower. So when he didn't want to play with me or he played too hard, I was like, you are being sexist. That's what I told him. I regret that. And I cried in the middle of the night. He doesn't love me. Papa doesn't love me. That kind of stuff. Papa doesn't love me. That happened, yeah. So they were really quick to throw that kind of insults women. And that's something very painful socially when they keep using those insults when they grow up and they make feel random tender voice, clumsy, stupid, tender, clumsy voice, who don't know if they need to ask for a girl's permission to kiss them or hold their hand. I know they're nervous, but they don't know. They don't know about that or anything. I mean, they just make you freak out or something. Women are very quick to throw those insults to men without thinking, and that's very, very, very dangerous. So that's what I don't like about women when they become teens. Of course, they don't want that kind of attention. I just want to go to classes and do what my parents tell me to do. Shut your mouth. Shut your trap. I don't know. Silence, please. Something like that. Be silent, be quiet. But then they start using those words all the time. And they should read more about biology, or they should consider and reflect about their actions to see biological patterns on them and also on men. So they make false accusations sometimes. I don't know. When you are a family, it's different. When you are friends with somebody, it's different. When you are the partner of somebody, it's different. But sometimes they want to feel like they want to attack men in general. That's kind of weird. Even if you, from the abstract point of view of having to deal with a group of people that mainly like things that they don't like. So I think that's dangerous, and I don't like that about women, I guess. It brings pain to this world. I know they can control it, but I don't know. For example, this country is, I know, it's kind of if people from Europe came or the US, of course they might find differences, the kind of food that people eat here, the traditions and such. But they might find that most of the stuff that is in people's minds, in their tongues, the kind of stuff that they say daily, on a daily basis, daily conversation is really, I don't know, like strange. Similar to what they are accustomed in Western countries. Sorority and, people going out to march, to feminist march and such, or even, I don't know, I find that kind of tiring sometimes, because it's not actually spending time with somebody and enjoying, I don't know, seeing like a landscape or such. If they know that men are attracted to them already, I mean, they can set their own boundaries and such. But I don't know, feeding that, giving money to that kind of particular institutions and such, it must be more like family orientated. But since family don't have those discussions, they don't tell you what should happen, what you should do when you are kissed by forcibly kissed. So they have like special institutions or groups of people where you can go and discuss that. And they feed like a narrative that shouldn't exist. It's just biology facts. Look, I have suffered because of that. And this is just a small story. I was riding a bus and it was 7. I think I was going to classes. I was in the capital of this country. And then I saw a couple of guys. They were like 30 or 40 or something. And they were like, look, people in general don't want to be close physically to people that they don't find attractive. That's just a general fact. Sometimes they take a distance from them. As long as you don't insult somebody and you don't kick the person or anything, and you don't speak anything about the person behind their backs. Like, for example, some classmate did that with me. I was just sitting, tired. It was maybe 7 a.m. and they took a picture of me on Facebook saying, I hope she doesn't notice. And they were, haha. And I was like, what's the point of them doing that? Well, let's go back to my short story. They were on the bus. I saw that there was this kind of people that working construction, so they were very like smelly and such. But there was not a single seat available for me at that hour. Everything was crowded, and I was like, I need to make the sacrifice to sit next to these people. I hope they don't do anything strange, you know. Oh no, I'm not gonna judge them. Guess what happened? What happened actually was that when I got off from the bus, they looked at each other and they started to chase me down the streets. And I was like, ah! And they were chasing me and looking at my buttocks. They were like, I was like, what? Sometimes I just follow my instinct. And women have that, you know, like, maybe they're more logical because of that thing that I said at the beginning here, that they're more social. Oh no, I think it was the other video, yes. So there's like, this can be happening, this is not true. It's just exactly the strange idea that I have on my mind. It happened. Oh my God, they are so predictable. Yes. So, like I said, I know that that's gonna happen. And they are in a world, a planet full of uncertain stuff. Women, not just me, many others. It's a curse being a woman. Sometimes I feel that, mainly because of the period. It's just unbearable. But they shouldn't have people feed them that kind of doctrines, that kind of ideas into their minds. So it's the responsibility of parents, but they don't know, because they are reproducing and rearing a family that they don't have time to explain how men behave and how women behave. There's not an actual, oh fuck, oh, that was the squirrel, oh, it hit me. They don't have enough time to discuss with their children what's gonna happen. They shouldn't know. But still, it's better if you went to class, if when you were a teen and you were in high school, you would receive human biology classes. Nothing about how the heart, my heart beats and it has a left side and a right side. No, let's go for the stuff that you want to know. Why people? Have you ever wondered why women just hold your hand just like that? Yes, I wanna know. Man, do you want to know why women suddenly run away if you tell them that you want to love them forever? Yes, I want to know. What kind of a stress will be reduced in general in this world, in those kind of institutions, if there was actually a subject like that? I will go for that, definitely. So it's better to have that, but to trust it to social sciences, because they want to find a place on any field, and it becomes kind of ridiculous. I know people here that even develop eco poetry. What is that? Eco poetry, connecting to the energy of Mother Nature and composing poetry according to feminist principles. What is that? So they have that kind of stuff. I think, yeah, they should be free to like interact socially with anyone and feel kind of relaxed. Maybe not protected, but relaxed women. But they should like be more on that kind of fat. I hope that we have a fat about biological facts. I don't know, maybe TikTokers or bloggers on YouTube giving you that kind of information. So they shouldn't go for that stuff, feeling like victims. Nobody wants to have a victim mentality. especially because many traditional stuff that, fits, that is right on the basis of any society, is very it's about victimization, religion, victimization. Science is not victimization because it was sold as something that might generate a revolution in the world. So that's why we follow the scientific method in high school. If you can prove me something, it's not okay. It's kind of good to have that order, but it doesn't work all the time. It depends on the investment and just cash, destiny doing its thing. Why Edison made it in this world and not Tesla or something like that. But yeah, women shouldn't be fed anything that is toxic. But also, they shouldn't marry just after leaving high school or renting. They need to find a middle point, and I know that is hard, but I don't like that kind of thing. I don't know. I saw that here because I think this country is very Americanized, and I don't like it. Every society should have its own way of interpreting how life is there. Even if it's a complete failure, but they're making their effort. And that's what happens when you have the U.S. so close, I guess. People should find liberty in actions. And also, knowing that they're gonna die, and then they need to limit some activities if they want to have more energy for others. And that's not what happens with women. I don't know. That's what I don't like about them. I don't like that about them. They want to have fun, of course, and you might think that they want to steal every man's energy, but that's not actually not true. Something they just fooled. They don't know how small or big is the scale of something when they get involved with men. Sometimes there's a lot of surprises. But I like I have an aunt. I love a nurturing side of women, leaving that part about, attacking men without any biological basis. For better or for worse, they need to know why they are done bad or good stuff by men. I like the nurturing side. It just like there's a vibe that is very motherly with women. So it feels just good. I like that. Yeah, I like when women are small, when they're kids. They have a lovely smell. And I think humans in general are very cute when they're, small. But women are just so beautiful. I don't know. It's almost like they smell like milk. Like, I don't know. They smell so beautiful, like fruity. I don't know. They look like fairies. So even though they don't keep that when they grow up, they sweat and they smell like shit, and they can smell. They smell like tobacco if they want to smoke. At least they keep that motherly thing very, very hidden. But it's not a sacrifice. It's not It's not. Yeah. It's not. These are not the motherly feelings that bring you to sacrifice. It's more like wanting to hold you and cling to you, and that's very beautiful from a primitive point of view. Maybe they're not gonna take up. Yeah, well, I think they're able to do anything, but I mean, they are not going to be the forgotten heroes, which are going to choose the same kind of occupations all the time, not being recognized historically by most of the people that they save, like firemen and such. I don't know why I bring this example about the firemen so much, but this is that kind of cling thing. When you grow up, you don't have that thing because you want your space, anyone, female or male, but that cling thing is very beautiful. I don't know. It's something beautiful. I like that about women. And now if we speak about, I didn't speak about anything physical on the main video. Oh, I regret that. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just talking about many. I'm mainly talking about character related stuff, so it will be too strange and shallow to talk about physical stuff. Yeah, I like women's motherly instincts. Yeah, I love it. I like it. Something's kind of hard because, and this is the bad part, what happens when women become grannies? There is also exaggerations, oh, there's a baby walking there. He came with his father. And he's wearing like summer clothes. I don't know. We don't have yeah, it's actually summer here in this country. She looks very clumsy. Yeah, playing with daddy. What I was saying? Yeah, that I didn't want to be shallow. When women grow up and they become grannies, yeah. It's sad because if they have a family, they complain. And they suddenly, after standing so much pressure, because women like to say stuff like 2 months after it happened or something like that. Do you remember when you didn't bring me that? I still resent it. That kind of stuff. So when they become grannies, they cry because, I don't know, some family members left. Suddenly they are on their own or maybe living with a couple relatives. And they cry like this. My mother is very like, how can I say this? I think she's a normal woman. Maybe she exaggerates. And women like to have a lot of stuff. They like to be treated like princesses. Like a princess when they have men around. And that's unnecessary. There's a lot of... I think we're very materialistic. But if they have a whim, they force their boyfriend or their husband to give them anything. They take out the wallet and they buy anything. That's unfair for men. I feel sorry for them. I said in the previous one that I feel sorry for men because they need to... They are crazy because of their hormones. And they keep chasing women all their lives until they die. I also feel sorry for that. Come on, pay. I want that. And that kind of stuff. So by the time they have enough money to invest it on something, they just go, you know what? I don't want to have this woman as a wife. Sometimes they become violent, and that's not good for either side. But they should just take some distance. I don't know, invest it on themselves or something. So yeah, depending on the type of partner that they have, of course, or the kind of daughters and sons that they have, they get kind of sour, and they complain a lot for things that are not happening. So let's go to the story about my mama. I was making a comic strip because I wanted to get comics. Oh, they could only be purchased on the internet. I looked for that. This is a good. Yeah, I looked for those comics, and I had to import them from Spain because I didn't know how to read English at that time. So there was a lady that was elderly. She was like 70-something, 60-something, 70. Yeah, her whole hair was white, and then she came to visit my house. And so I was concentrated making my comic because I wanted to get the prize. And then I just took some distance because I wanted some silence. And then she started to cry. And then a couple of days after, my mama told me that she had said that I was a very rude person because she felt that I was rejecting her. I was not even her relative. And I was just making a comic in my room because I wanted to get comics. And then she said that. And my mama, they scolded me in my house just because of that random woman who's not part of my family. I was being violent. Oh, youngsters these days, I need to concentrate because I want to make a good comic strip. I just greeted her and that's it, and I went straight to and then she cried, and then I was told, "You are such a cruel daughter, such a cruel person who doesn't have any values." And I think that when women become older, they become more like that. So that's kind of hard. So of course, there's people who treat them badly, I don't know, but I think it's inevitable to be hurt at any given moment when you're a teen, when you're a kid, when you're a baby. It's just the truth about being a half animal, yeah, and half human. The human part is thinking and analyzing and reflecting. Yeah, I don't think men cry like that when they're old. They're very practical. It's just like, you don't want to be there, just go with your friends and have fun. I'm just an old bag of bones already. Go and have fun. And then suddenly women do that. Sometimes they go to institutions with that kind of a victim mentality, and they do that. I was accused by a neighbor that I was being violent because I shoot in my room to draw a comic strip because she wanted me to kiss her and hug her. I don't know if then what you didn't tell me. Maybe I could have considered that. Just the point with women that they're very sentimental, and there's a point where they're even more likable. I think that in general the best phase, PHASA, I don't know how to say that. I cannot distinguish between that phase and vase. One is the Z and the other was the normal S. Okay, just so you can understand. The most beautiful part, the most beautiful vase in women's lives is when they're teen, when they're high school students. Yeah, I love that. They look just like, I don't know, like chicks. I love that. There's a lot of weird words that you can use in order to refer to women. Some terms are affectionate. I didn't like people to use those with me. Little kid, little baby, little this. Then I understood that. It was not bad to hear that sometimes. But they're just little chickens. Starting to look like, I don't know, taller and such. So it's just, I don't know, beautiful. I like that part. Of course, I didn't appreciate it on my classmates because I was not into my classmates either, my female classmates. But that's something that I appreciate sometimes. I stop and I watch, mamas holding babies' hands on the street, and sometimes I cry. I'm running an errand or something, and then I see that there's it happened actually last year. There was like a school event, and they were making races, and there was a race only for women, and those babies didn't even know how to run, and you look so cute. You can get that with men when they're, yes. It's a very dramatic process, growing older as a woman, but then they have that kind of stuff, and you don't know how to react. She cried. I remember that day that she cried, and I couldn't understand why she was crying and sobbing. Oh, 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 oh. And it's because she know me. I greeted her sometimes, but it was just a friend of my mama. When you're a kid, I think we both, men and women, share this. Sometimes it's kind of annoying to kind of greet and make a whole 5-star hotel. Give any of your parents' friends a 5-star hotel treatment. Come on, You need to say hello to Mrs. Susan. Mrs. Susan. I need to do homework. I need to watch a series. But yeah, that's kind of complicated when they complain about that. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say about women. Yeah. Sometimes they like to measure. This is also complicated when they have circles. The mysterious thing that they have women about hanging with other women doesn't stop at high school. So and this, it can be kind of maybe toxic or even troubling. Let's use the word troubling. When they measure themselves against you, asking you if you have a partner or something like that, because they kind of have like women don't have this strange smirk that men have. But it's like they're kind of scared to ask you, do you have a boyfriend? No. That kind of stuff. It's kind of it kind of made me nervous. I get like, why are you asking something so personal? Maybe she wanted, I don't know, advice or something, but most of the time it's kind of like that, like they're walking on thin ice. And do you have a boyfriend? No. Should I have a boyfriend? That's the end of it. Now I have half and half. I ended up mentioning stuff that I should have mentioned the first one, but this is improvisation. I wanted to do improvisation because if I read something, it would sound like a discourse, and I didn't want that kind of a emphasis. So I'm sorry if I committed that mistake. Oh, Papa and Mom and baby are playing on the background, so there's gonna be a lot of noise. So I'm gonna cut right here. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to have a video about men and women. I don't know why. This is not gonna be in any kind of book, but still, it's just my reflections after close to 30 years of being alive. I love young, but I'm almost 30. So yeah, bye. Maybe I might have more surprises, but it's not gonna be anything that is about reflecting like this. I think I already have covered everything I have to cover in this kind of format. Check.